What are the best strategies to really start making money in 2025 using tech, using social media, using AI, but the most important one, using agentic. So agentic is basically AI that talks to each other. Imagine right now, I can open my phone and I can talk to my AI as an assistant. For example, I have something called Nova, and Nova is my AI. Every time I talk to her on here, I'm now able to get a specific feedback. So for example, let's say you want to book a restaurant. I can say, hey, book me a restaurant tonight, steak at 6 o'clock, and it will check all the websites, it will check the timings and book it for you, instead of you having to go and book it yourself. Agentic is when we're able to automate a lot of this stuff. This is how we're able to start creating things that are more passive. So when we talk about future money, what are the future ways or the new ways in order to monetize in today's market? Whenever we're talking about agentic, we really want to think about ways to monetize it in a way that allows us to, number one, talk about the evolution of money, right? When we talk about future money, what's actually happening to money right now? The evolution of money is active, passive, and then the next one is leverage. But actually all of this now, like if I look at the future of money, it's artificial intelligence, it's AI. The first section, we call it AIA. AIA is the AI agent. Let me give an example of what an AI agent can do. So an AI agent can take any task. For example, there is an AI agent that can make music. Obviously, I'm not a musician. I wish I was. But the good news with an AI agent now, we can now create our own music without having to be an expert at anything. Why do I explain future money like this way? Because future money, you cannot make money unless you create something. So whenever we're creating things, we want to do things in a way that, one, allow us to implement fast, two, allow us to solve a problem, and three, that allow us to execute really, really fast, even if you have no experience. So the good news about this, every single one of you can monetize by using these specific strategies. And if you just do it this year, 2025 is the year for AI agents, which combine together create what we call agentic AI. But when you have all these AIAs, when you add them together, this creates an AIO. What's an AIO? AIO is an AI organization. The power of this is really to understand all of the things that you've ever wanted to do is now possible. For example, my daughter, she's going to be 7 this year. She's always wanted to become an artist, but she doesn't draw with her hands, she draws with her mind. So imagine right now if our kids can use their imagination. Like, how many of you heard of this kid called Ryan's Toys? Ryan's Toys makes like 20 million a year or something crazy like that. If you look at what people are able to do now, it always comes down to their imagination. That's why I want you to start paying close attention to the evolution of how money is going, because most things now are coming down to anything tech and anything AI. Focus on all the different things that you can think about, and then you can make them a reality, right? For example, if you want to make an app and you're like, oh, John, I don't know how to code, I don't have enough money to hire developers, I don't have any of this stuff. Like, you don't need to have that now. Do you know what you need to have? You need to have the right artificial no-code strategy. That's it. So the evolution of money is we are now moving from one point to another point. And that's why coming down to AI, you have all these AI agents, and now we're creating AI organizations. And here's the good news. Typically, when you start a company, you are the CEO of the company. And then what do you normally hire when you have a CEO? You normally have a right-hand person, which is your CSO, your Chief Strategy Officer. So the Chief Strategy Officer is the person that kind of tells you what to do, tells you how to do it. So your CSO. But then every company needs to have a CMO, a Chief Marketing Officer. If a company doesn't do marketing, if it's not able to generate leads in marketing, it's not able to monetize. Because in order for a business to survive, it has to sell something, doesn't it? It has to sell something to someone. So every company, you are the CEO of the company, which means your right-hand person needs to be a CSO, and then your CMO is your Chief Marketing Officer. So the CSO is really for strategy, like what strategies do you have? Your CMO is for marketing, your CRO is for sales. This person is in charge of revenue generation. If your company doesn't make money, it's very, very hard for you to grow it. Why? Because sales and money is the lifeblood of your business. And so if you don't have that, it's going to be very hard for you to succeed. And then once you have all of that, you want to wrap it all together. And this now becomes your COO. And your COO is your Chief of Operations. So what does your operations do? Your operations is able to systemize things and automate things together. If you look at a business, it only requires three things. Number one, marketing. Number two, sales. And number three, scale. These three things make a business, and then you start making money. So future money for this year, one of the big things is going to be what we call a digital identity. One of the things that I also want to share with you as well is that every time that we are getting into the process of monetization, we really want to start knowing how can we scale those things as well. So the second evolution of this is crypto and blockchain. When I think about the future of money, is the value of money going up or is it going down? For example, when the government prints more money, this is what's known as a fiat money. But what if I told you that there are different ways to create your own digital currency? Because the more the government uses paper to print, the more of it's available, the less that it's worth. The more people that have a phone, the more digital currency they're gonna have. When's the last time you bought a wallet? Right? Probably, I don't know, years. So where is our wallet now? Our wallet is on our phone. So we have what we call a digital wallet. Again, we're talking about the future of money 2025, right? So if the money and our wallets are on our phone, when we start thinking about how money is showing up in our bank account, is that real money or is that digital money? It's digital. Let's say you log in this $10,000. That is not 10,000 real money. The real money of that 10,000 is probably like 1 or 2,000 is real. The other 8,000 is digital. And if you don't believe me, you can all go to the bank. Like if everybody goes to the bank to withdraw their money, guess what's gonna happen, right? If everyone puts all their money and tries to withdraw their money, it's not gonna happen. Why is it not gonna happen? Because that's called a bank run. That's what almost happened to the Silicon Valley Bank. The Silicon Valley Bank basically just didn't work because everyone was trying to pull their money out, and then obviously they got bailed out, right? So when we're talking about what digital currency is the ability for you to scale. So here's my prediction. If currency is digital, what is the difference between a US dollar, pound, euro, and a Bitcoin? What's the difference? There's no difference. It's still a digital currency. So what's happening now is, especially with the new iPhones, you've got peer-to-peer payments. You see, the funny thing is that a lot of people, in fact, there are more mobile phones in the world than people. But the thing is, not everybody has a bank account. So what does that mean? That means more and more people will be using stuff like this to be able to monetize. That's the key. So for example, let's say I'm with you and you say, oh, John, what are you working on today? Oh, I have a new book coming out. Oh, I'd love to buy a copy. So instead of having to go to johnlee.com and look, what you're gonna do is you're gonna be able to tap someone else's phone like this. So there's two phones here, and you're gonna be able to go doot doot, and you'll be able to transact from one phone to another phone. This is the future money. That means you need to start building community. The community is where it's at. But if you don't build community, then it's very hard to get distribution. So I'm getting you to think about how to understand what's happening with money.